What do you say? 7-0? 7-0? 7-0? There's no words, is there, really? 7-0, mate. I don't think I've ever experienced that in my lifetime unless I've wiped it away from my memory. I'm pretty sure I don't remember a 7-0. Let alone to your biggest rival. I don't know, man. You know what? In a very, very strange way, I'm very glad Ten Hag got to witness that because maybe he was under the illusion that some of these players were actually title level winning players. They ain't. They ain't. um. All right, so I guess the first question of the day is, what do you think about Ten Hag in this performance? Right. Well, you can't say anything good, can you? Let's be honest, right? You can't have a positive from 7-0. That would be silly. Was Ten Hag to blame? Ten Hag was not to blame for the first half. I thought we played all right, and then they just scored this killer goal just right at the end of half time, and then obviously he was trying to get them going for the second half, and then we instantly concede with another piece of dumbass defending. Can you excuse that? Can you say Ten Hag should have woke the players up? That should never have happened. He probably did, but the player fucked up, didn't they? I think Varane in the very first goal should know it's Gapco, and he's going to cut inside because that's what he does. I think they had like 9 shots and scored 8 goals. People will say, oh, you can't blame David De Gea. What did he do? Like, did he claim anything? Did he sweep? Did he catch anything? Did he save anything? No. Did our attack do anything? No. I honestly think every reaction is okay and justified to this result. Meaning, normally, like, say you lose 2-0 to Liverpool or you lose, 6-1, but Ferguson's won a load of titles, right? You can have a load of reactions. Some aren't justified. Like, if we lose 2-1 to Liverpool today, you can't sit here and say, worst team ever, etc. But really, you could argue, because of that performance, that's the worst Manchester United performance ever. You could actually argue that, right? You could say, I want Ten Hag out because no manager would allow their team to get beat 7-0. I'm not saying you should say that, but I think actually every single reaction is probably justified to this because a lot of people will be in shock about what they've just seen. I personally think we were unlucky to go in losing 1-0, but we didn't create enough to score, so probably they took their chance and they deservedly were 1-0. Then they scored that goal to make it 2, and then our heads just went completely. Now, the only thing I can say about Ten Hag here, which I think was really poor, was when it went to 3-0, and Luke Shaw was just, he had one of the worst games I've seen, and everyone was just flapping about, and Casemiro couldn't pass to a man in a red shirt, right? All of this stuff, right? When all of this was going on, he just seemed to keep attacking, which you can say is fantastic and brave, but it reminds me of like Ralph Hasenhüttl when he got walloped 9-0. Like, there comes a point where you've just got to say, okay, the game's over. And maybe at 4-0, maybe he thought to himself, well, maybe we can get a goal back, give the fans something to cheer about, and then shut up shop. Then they score a 5th. Oh, it's okay, we can still get a goal or something, right? But when it gets to 5, 6, 7, you have to look at the manager then and say, what? I don't understand what he was doing. I'm not saying Ten Hag out or anything. I just don't know what he was doing. To me, what it looked like was he was leaving the players on the pitch intentionally to be like, you made this mess, you can stay on it, and I'm not pulling you off to get you out the firing line. Maybe I'm being too kind on Ten Hag there. Maybe it was just that bad. I've seen so many crap Manchester United performances in the past 10 years that this doesn't surprise me. It doesn't. Did I think we were going to get beat 7-0 today? Absolutely not. Did I think we were going to win? No. We never beat Liverpool at Anfield these days. We just don't. Was I expecting 7-0? Absolutely not. Is it acceptable? Absolutely not. So here's another thing, right? If you want to get on the Ten Hag out train or whatever you're doing, if you tomorrow were hired to be Manchester United manager and you had to play Liverpool tomorrow and those players tried their best, would they lose 7-0 to Liverpool again? I don't think they would. I don't know what went on there. I would be very interested to hear Ten Hag's assessment of that because, again, that game made no sense to me. I don't get it. Right. Tactically, this is the question mark I have above Ten Hag today. Normally he's spot on. I think Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold are one of the weakest sets of actual pure defenders in the league. That can be debated, whatever. But to play Bruno and Anthony against them just seems like that doesn't make sense. To me, you would want like Sancho, Rashford, Garnacho, those types of players attacking them on the wing, and then having Weghorst up front, and then Bruno in the middle. It seemed to me like he changed his entire team to accommodate Weghorst, who isn't worth it. I'm not saying he didn't do an alright job linking up first half, he did, but he's not worth changing the whole team over. More than annoyed and angry, which I was absolutely seething, I'm more interested to see what the hell he does here, because obviously I think this is probably his biggest loss in his career. It's against Man United's main rivals on the biggest stage. So it's a huge thing, right? In a way, the players have completely embarrassed him. Because it made it look like, to me as a fan, like the guy had no control. Like, he couldn't make defensive subs, he couldn't make attacking subs, he couldn't do anything. The players had just gone completely. They weren't even listening to him. Which, made him really look quite bad. I'm very interested to see what he does. That was absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling.